afternoon and welcome to Tea Time with Miss Liz. That's right, it's tea time and it's afternoon tea. And I have a special guest in the studio today. That's right, a special guest because she's a returning guest. She was with us in 2020 and she is back here in 2021. So I would like to introduce Annette Chiappee. Chiappee. I'm sure I will get it right, Annette. And she's going to share some amazing news. And we're just going to sit down and have an incredible tea time and speak on mental health and the importance of it. So, Annette Chiappee is a mother of three wonderful children and lives in Lowell, Ontario, Canada. In 2010, she was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder, after which she made a life-altering decision to learn to love herself. Learn to Love Myself was born from those lessons. Today, she is a self-love coach, holding space, listening lovingly with judgment, completely present for others. She has authored the mindfulness coloring books and card series, Love, Kind, and Compassion. Annette speaks on loving oneself and promotes self-healing, and through her principles, she helps others. Annette incorporates love, kindness, and compassion into everything she loves: nature, yoga, and writing. Annette's perfect purpose is to spread and inspire more love, kindness, and compassion. Annette Chiappee, self-love coach, author, and artist speaker. To learn more on Annette, check out her website, learn to love myself at gmail.com. www.learntolovemyself.ca. Sorry, I got your Gmail in there and I got your website in there. So Annette, please pronounce your last name because I'm really sorry if I'm saying it wrong.
Hi everyone. It's pronounced Chiappe.
Chiappe. I wasn't even close, guys.
all my married life, it was always pronounced. It's not an easy last name to pronounce, I guess.
I think it's the letters. I just go with the letters when I pronounce someone's name. I just do the P. So yeah. I wasn't even close.
Well, it's also a funny thing that I ended up with a second E on my last name because there's another Annette Chiappee out there. And for whatever reason, Facebook decided to add an extra E. And I have been having a B of a time trying to get it removed.
Oh, so there is no double E. So
no.
Okay, so we'll have to fix that for sure. So Annette, thank you for joining me again in the studio for the second time, and you will be joining me again in December for the reunion tea time with more updates. So since you've been on Tea Time since last year, what has changed in your life?
Oh my God. The most amazing thing that has changed in my life is I'm reunited with all of my three children. They're now here in Canada living in Barrie.
Oh,
and
awesome.
The city I live in is actually pronounced New Lowell.
New Lowell. Okay.
Yes.
See, again, I'm doing all the letters, right? Lowell. I think that's the French in me. I just kind of roll it off my tongue, right?
Could be. Yes, could be.
Well, that's amazing. So where are your children originally from?
My daughters were born here in Canada. My son was born in Argentina, sorry. And they decided to all come back home. It's that's a long story in itself, but part of why I've done my coloring books, the latest edition I've done, the youth edition, is been dedicated to them.
Oh, I didn't know that about the youth edition.
Yes.
So yeah, I've been sharing a lot of the amazing books that you've done. So do you want to go through the books one by one? I can show them and you also have them, so the viewers out there can see the amazing work that you've done with these coloring books. And then we'll talk about the cards that you've made as well. So I think we should start with that volume 1, right?
Absolutely. At the beginning. So volume 1 came out in 2019. There's my beauty. And the drawings, the doodles, the messages that are in there, I have Enlightened Life messages on the accompanying pages. So all of those are from my heart and resulted from the healing steps I took to help myself with my depression and anxiety through my diagnosis. And I just started putting my pen to paper, and amazingly enough, the doodles just started flowing out of me one after the other, like page after page after page. And I got more and more inspired to get my messages out about loving oneself, because of all the hard work, years and years that I've been doing for myself through therapy and various other mechanisms, literature and stuff, workbooks. I thought, what a better way to reach others, but then to share my message of hope through what I had to learn about myself. So that was what I started with volume 1. And a dear, dear friend of mine, you can show the next one, which is volume 2, which is kindness. Her kindness in itself helped me to develop the books in a certain order. I was going to do one big book called Love, Kindness, and Compassion. And she says to me, well, Annette, you need to get it out as separate volumes. And I'm like, wow, that's a great idea. So everything that I do stems from listening. And that's how I became also a self-love mentor, because listening to people, their stories about mental health issues and their struggles with their understanding their family, understanding themselves, understanding their traumas, all kind of get consolidated into the books with my visions of what love, kindness, and compassion mean to myself, and how I interact with people and the environment. So from all of that, then I decided I'd start working on compassion. And I have to admit, compassion was my hardest one to do, because compassion is such a deep, has so much deep meaning for me, because being compassionate to myself was the hardest thing to do. And after like all the forgiveness I had to do, you have to also give compassion to others. So it took me the longest to write that one. And I don't believe you have a copy of the youth edition, but I can show it.
No, I don't have that one.
Okay, so this is the youth edition. You did show it in your video.
Yes.
And the reason why the youth edition came out was all the adults I was reaching, a lot of them walked away empty-handed without a book, because I didn't have something that was for younger people, because I keep getting more and more feedback about how the younger generation is struggling with their mental health, how they have so many issues around anxiety and depression and suicidal thoughts. And I want to reach everybody, male, female, young, old. I help and spread my love and inspire people with love everywhere I go. So this is the latest of how I want to reach people. So that's the gist of the books. That is my passion, and I color in them all the time. I get commissioned sometimes on people, they say, oh, well, I don't color. And I said, well, how can I help you? I offer this, I offer that. And they're like, oh, well, my daughter, she loves this picture in the book, and why don't you color it for her? So people ask me to actually color for them, because then they have an inspirational message that's been colored by me.
And your drawings are amazing. And for some reason, when I grabbed all 3 of them, 1, 2, 3, all at once, and I kept saying, which one do I color in first? Which one is calling me first? And for me, it was the compassion that called me. I don't know why, but it called me. And then I had sent you what I colored, and then I had let you know as well that markers for the paper don't work, because they go through to the next side. So, but the picture that I actually colored in the book, I did send it to you. Let me find, it's right here.
Yes.
So,
and then you wanted me to tell you what the colors meant, why you gravitated towards the colors.
Yes.
And then
yes.
we looked that up together on and discovered the meanings behind them, because there's meaning behind everything we do. So that was special to you.
And we noticed that I colored with a lot of golden brown colors, almost
Yes.
like tea, right? So it falls in alignment with what I do.
Yes, absolutely.
So you,
I myself always color in very bright, vivid colors, colors of um, the positive colors. Like, darker your colors are, usually it's more intense that you're in a lower frequency of your energy. So I always color in vivid colors.
so Annette, what brought you into the art besides being diagnosed with post traumatic stress?
A memory,
A
um,
memory.
repressed memory of that I love to doodle, and also just so that I can reach people, because I've always loved to sit with people, just as you love to have your tea times with people. I love to sit and hold space for people. So while holding space for people, they open up and they share, and I ask very um, deeply loving questions, and that gives people trust and space to open up. And I thought, what a better way to do it but through art, because when I start telling people about my journey and about why I created the coloring books, it resonates for them. They're very passionate about, like, the majority of us, of society, are always looking for, what's my purpose. So making these coloring books gave me purpose, to inspire others, to love others, to share my story with others so that they can open up and share with me.
So what have you learned about yourself by the journey of the coloring books and the postcards and that? What did you learn about yourself?
I learned that a lot of the memories that I had focused previously on the negative stuff. And as I began to draw and color and sell and promote love, kindness, and compassion, I learned that I am such an amazing human being, like, that I can walk and hold my head high, that I have a voice, that I am compassionate. All those doubts that I used to have about, from people instilling things in me and then me creating beliefs about them, they all started to fall away. And the more I worked with my books, the more I worked with people, the more I shared stories about, and listened to their stories. It's like a waterfall. It just washes over me, and it keeps going down different directions. It's just incredible. I can't believe that I used to be, in so much pain and suffering, and now I'm in so much joy and peace. It's like night and day. And that's what I learned from creating my books, and the power of belief. Like my cup here that I'm drinking over our show said, oh, let me see if I can turn it the right way. Believe. And I got that from a woman when I was at a market selling my books. And I always like to approach people and say, would you like to know what it is I do? Because I'm more passionate about listening to people when they say, oh, yeah, I'm interested. So I share a little bit. And then I'm like, and tell me something about you, right? And then I get to know them. So I ended up with this cup because I met this lovely lady at the market, and she says, I'll be right back. And she runs away and she goes upstairs to her apartment just above the market and comes back and hands me a cup.
Oh,
And it's that kind of kindness that sets my heart on fire.
well, it's nice to know that people understand, right? It's the understanding. Anybody that lives with mental health, we just want people to understand that we're human beings too, right? Just
Yeah.
because we're diagnosed with something doesn't mean that we're different. We're not these oddballs. We just have different chemical brain functions, and we've gone through a lot.
Yeah.
So you do have a group called the mental learn to love myself, and you talk about the mental break. What?
Oh, yes. I've changed it from a mental health break, Annette Chiappee artwork, think that's what it used to be called. I can't remember now, but I changed it to now a mental health break with Annette Chiappee, because that's what I do. I basically give people a break from thinking about their mental health, and instead just be able to reflect and reframe and restructure their thinking by just expressing themselves.
And why is it important for a mental break? Because a lot of people out there don't understand why it's so important, but we all need a mental break at some point in our life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I literally take 2 hours every morning for my mental health, meditation, sometimes yoga, sometimes a walk outside. I do, I'll sit in color. I will just sit and read something positive literature. Taking mental health breaks is paramount to loving yourself. And we're so conditioned, men and women alike. And I'm very much pro expressing that it's not one sex or the other that's suffered more or less, right? We all have our stories. We all have our wrongs done to us. But although I'm a sexual abuse survivor, I don't frown upon helping men. I haven't turned away from helping anybody because of what I went through. And I think it's just as important to help men as it is women and children. And I want to always express that, but I seem to attract women because it just, the books are sold mostly to women, although I have a lot of male supporters, one being my boyfriend. And I think I might have strayed away from your question, but the mental health break is key to loving yourself, being able to love others, and it's not selfish. It is absolutely important and paramount to look after yourself first. And I may sit and talk with people and listen to their stories, and it's from them sharing and me just being there for them that they're doing their own self-healing. I just seem to be able to hold that space for them while they do that self-healing, right? And the coloring books are a great tool for that, because it's the byproduct of where I am today, because I did take my own mental health into my own hands. And I'm not saying I did it alone. Some of the mental health break stuff I do was taught by my therapist, was taught by spiritual leaders that I've read their books, from chats with yourself, with chats with other people. You could learn so much just by speaking less and listening more. And that means going inward. And your mental health break is also connected to your heart and your soul. So I can't express how much I love taking care of myself now that I know how to, right? It didn't happen overnight.
Well, it's part of your learning to love myself, right? Like, mental health is learning to love ourselves, because we're learning to accept that there's nothing really wrong with us. We're just, our chemical imbalance in the brain has just made us different. But learning to love ourselves and accepting ourselves for who we are and bringing that importance to the table is really important. What you do with your coloring books and your cards that you create, and that you also help with CMHA. Is there a reason why you help with CMHA? Have they helped you in your process of growing and healing?
Absolutely. Yes. The reason why I do what I do with the coloring books, I donate 10% of my sales every year to the Canadian Mental Health Association. And I also host 2 fundraiser sales in the summer, the beginning and the end. And I get dressed up, I go out in the street and I wave at people and I have a blast. And that's absolutely great for my mental health too, because it's me getting out of my box. And the Canadian Mental Health Association did something the most simplest thing for me ever. they gave me a roof over my head for a very temporary time so that I could wake up. I had to wake up to the fact that there was nobody else out there to take care of myself except to not take care of myself, but take responsibility of my own mental health. So when I realized that the organizations that help others I could in turn pay it forward, I thought, what a better way to do it than to donate through my books. And it's also people are very encouraged that I'm supporting the Mental Health Association, right? I've heard stories where it's been lacking in services for people. And why is it lacking? Because there's not enough funding, right? So if I do my part, not only is it good for my mental health, giving back to my community, it's also helping someone else's mental health. So it's a win-win situation.
It truly is, right? And if we don't know about the services, how do we reach out to the services? That's the number one thing that I've learned by getting help and support for my healing is if I didn't know about the service, how was I going to get service from the organization, right? So that's why I do what I do on Teatime is bring the awareness to these incredible services, to these incredible guests that come on Teatime like yourself, Annette, and the incredible work that you do, because you've actually helping other people with their mental health because of what you've gone through. And that's truly inspiring to see, you know, that we take your pain and you turn it to triumph and help other people out there to get over their journey as well, you know, because it's a healing journey forever. It's not a fix, you know, tomorrow you're all healed and it's better. It's an everyday healing process for anybody who lives with mental health. So
Yeah.
I want to talk to you a little bit more about the art for mindfulness, because you used to have like a little retreat or something when we spoke in 2020 in your home or something in the garden, or you were doing like a coffee time or a get together. Are you still doing that?
At the moment, in the wintertime, I don't have I think you're talking about the greenhouse.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah, I took my father-in-law's old greenhouse that was used as a storage unit and gutted it and turned it into a sacred space. So in the summer, or in the spring, I plan to reopen. I do have some people come in the winter. It depends if they're a winter person, I guess. And I have a heater there and we can sit out there. And it's on the back of it's sitting in front of a creek. So I take people down if we want to go snowshoeing. Like I basically just spend time with people in nature, and the greenhouse sits in a very nature setting. And I have tea there and we talk, we color, I call it self-therapy artwork, right? So I invite people they want to knit, knit. If you want to color, color. You know, I have puzzles in there. I have cards in there. Sometimes I leave the space just for, oh, my dog, sorry. Sometimes I just leave people to use the space by themselves, and they can leave a donation, or, you know, they can spend as much time as they need in there. It's an open door kind of policy. And more and more people are aware of the greenhouse being there and how it's used because of my summer sales. And when people donate stuff to me and I sell the stuff that's been donated, 100% of those proceeds go to the Canadian Mental Health Association.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I get brand new stuff sometimes, and I get donated items that haven't even been opened. Like my sister-in-law, she gave me a sewing machine, and its value was like $80-something on the internet, and I got $50 for it.
Oh,
So
wow.
like people were pulling over in the street, and I was inviting them, come visit the greenhouse. This is what I do. This is how I'm helping people. And, you know, people would buy nothing and they'd still donate money. And this is all going to the Canadian Mental Health Association. And this year I'm running a fundraiser. I don't know if you saw my post, but
yes, I wanted to bring that up. Yes,
yeah,
the Christmas fundraiser that you have up on your page, on your Facebook page. I'm going to bring that up so and the viewers out there, and if you're watching the replay, please push hashtag replay. I'm going to bring up her Facebook page. That's your Facebook group. So the mental health break comes up.
Yeah.
So if anybody would like to know about your Christmas fiesta festival campaign that you have going on, you can see it on her Facebook page as well. So if you'd like to share a little bit about that, Annette.
Well, I decided, since I have 4 volumes now, and they make, like, coloring is always good no matter what time of the year it is. I thought, what a better way. And I haven't, from all the work I've been doing with the Canadian Mental Health Association, the monies I send has been by e-transfer to the organization. This year, early next year, after I've done all the funds and stuff like that, I want to walk in there, hopefully with a stack of books, because what I've offered is 4 sets of coloring books at a discounted rate, right? And 1 book will be donated for every 4 that are purchased to go to the Canadian Mental Health Association. So I'm hoping for Christmas time that, I can get lots of books sold so that I can walk into the Canadian Mental Health Association in the new year with a stack of books and a big check.
I think it'll happen because these books are really truly amazing, and the artwork is it's a really nice flow, and
Yes.
and there's something on every page for somebody. If
Yeah.
volume 1 is not there for you, volume 2 is, volume 3, volume 4, like, you've really done an amazing job with these volumes, Annette, and you've
Yeah.
really helped, because sometimes we get just so busy with life and things happening in life, that we just got to take that mental break and just pick up a coloring crayon book and start coloring away. I'd like to know, are these books all available on Amazon for purchase?
The first 3 volumes are. I haven't worked yet on getting the 4th one on, because
Okay.
that one I was so inspired by. I just put it together. I have a wonderful new printer, and he does an amazing job. So now I'm changing the format of the books a bit so they're more user friendly, and they lie flat because they're spiral bound. And hopefully I'm going to have an ability in the future to be able to use both marker and pencil. But I mean, not every page is somebody's cup of tea. So some people will just color and marker and lose the next page.
Well, I only noticed after, right? Because I like to do the outline of my coloring, and then I was like, I turned the page, I was like, oh no, I lost the page. But I enjoyed coloring that 1 page. So to lose 1 page to gain 1 page, I guess it did the work, right? So
I've noticed that in other coloring books, that when you use marker, it can't be helped. It goes through, right?
It does. It leaks, right? So
yeah, but
and that's why they're called coloring books. We're supposed to be using coloring crayons.
Yeah, but I'm a big marker user myself. I love marker. I don't know what it is. It's the infusion of the liquid with the paper I like, right?
Yeah.
So, but I did want to mention one other thing, but I can't recall. Maybe if you ask me another question.
Oh, well, I'm just going to bring up the books again for all the viewers that are out there. These books are really, truly amazing. So I'm just going to bring them up one by one again. So volume 1 is, I'm going to bring it over here. So there we go. Volume 1.
Maybe you want to show a couple of the pages inside, and I can. Oh, I know what it was I wanted to mention. I'm currently working on. Excuse me for a second.
I just like the pages because, Annette, you have like little messages, like inspirational messages as well.
Yes,
so
the enlightened life messages.
So it actually brings like, like if you're having a hard day, you just want to see something positive, like you're having a hard, dark day. And I like that it's a flow, the flow of the leaf. I don't know. I think it's like tea. I think you were thinking of me.
Yeah. Well, in the youth edition, I'm getting simpler messages out to younger people. For example, this one says, playing outside every day feels good. Or playing every day outside feels good. And it's a tree, right? So I'm going to be starting some podcasts, I guess you call them podcasts, short videos about the stories behind the first 3 volumes, because there is a story behind each message that I've written. and I'm going to be explaining what they are. There's going to be 2 from each book. So maybe you can follow that, and I'll be sharing it with people and getting more enlightenment out there about how the messages are your mental health break, how they are helping you become more aware of when you're suffering and how to catch those triggers. And there's so much coming. It's just incredible.
Well, like I think there's a message behind everything that we do, right? And
Yes.
I kind of thought that there was a message behind these little quotes that you put in the books, almost like a little bit of telling your story, but telling your story through the coloring books.
Yes.
That's what I got from it.
Yes.
So really, really incredible work that you're doing. You also do cards. Do you have any of those cards?
Oh, I do. Okay, so I have 3 different kinds that are now out. This is compassion.
Gorgeous work.
Okay.
And I love the butterfly because it's a transformation of the butterfly, right?
So inside each of these cards, let me open this one up, is another drawing. So I got inspired to do these cards because I used to go around and stick random notes on people's cars on the window shields, just saying, I hope you have a fantastic day. I love you so much. You're special. Things like that, right? So I wanted to get messages out in a deeper, profound way that we could share with others. So I decided I would make coloring cards with a beautiful message about compassion.
Oh, I like that because it's different.
Yeah. Like so you color this. Well, let me see. It's hard to do in reverse.
Yep.
You color this picture, and then you have the beautiful message. You can sign it. You can send it anonymously, or whatever floats your boat, right? Mm-hmm. And then I decided I'd do blank ones so people could color it themselves. This one is kindness.
Oh, I love it.
All right. So this is completely blank. You can color it. You can draw your own drawing inside, and you can write your own message. It's completely blank.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. And then these ones, I just came out with my first set of Christmas cards. I did 5.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
Yeah. And they have a beautiful little tree. Each one is a unique little tree inside with a beautiful message about Christmas and holidays and various other thoughts on. This one says, the snow falls and trees glow. Christmas carols are sung. Stockings are filled with goodies. Children laugh making a snowman. And you, my dear, may all the good feelings the time of the year brings be with you always. I love you. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
I love it. And I love how you chippered up as soon as you said, I love me. When we just say those words to ourselves, we kind of, it enlightens us, right? It lightens us up a bit. And I noticed that as you were reading the card, you're getting lighter and lighter and lighter, and you were cheering up. So it's amazing what a card will do, right?
Yeah. So that's what the message is behind the cards. The cards are to lovingly get a message out to people that they're not alone. They're thought of. They're deeply loved, and to keep the message going, because I've had people buy them from organizations that are supporting women that have been in sex trafficking. And it's just when somebody like that from an organization buys my cards, it just fills me with such joy. I can't express how happy it makes me that I'm helping other people that have been through such a trauma.
Yeah. Well, especially with what you've overcome as well, right, Annette?
Yeah. And that's what helps heal. Like the more I give and the more compassionate and loving and kind I am, the greater and better my health becomes.
Yeah. So where can people find these cards?
Currently, the cards are only in my possession, but I do have some in some stores. Now, when you go to my website, which is technically under construction right now, there are links to every store where my cards and my books are sold.
Okay.
Yeah. So all you have to do is go through the page, click on the link, and it'll take you to the store, right? And it gives you the address and the phone number, of course, like every web page. But people that are local, and I love, because I love to talk and hold space. Anybody wants to personally meet me, I will deliver my books and cards personally and sit and have a coffee with you or chat. I have no problem. I'm traveling all the time. I hope to travel all over the world spreading my message.
I believe you will. I think you have an important message to get out there. Like and I believe that this is why we were aligned, right? Because we have a message to give to the world that we can
Yes.
overcome stuff when we start working on ourselves. You know, when we start healing ourselves, we can heal others, and we can't fix them. We can show
Yeah.
them that it can be done, and they can heal themselves. You know,
Yes.
um, so I want to get into Annette, your T. What is your T, girl? So if you could give me a word for each letter, what words would you give me for the TEA?
Oh, Lord. And it changes every year.
And
So,
that's true.
yeah, for me, this year has been truly and deeply trusting myself. Um, E is for enlightenment because uh, the more you look after your mental health, you're enlightened with how the world really works, right? We see so much on the media about all the negativity in the world, and it's time that we enlighten each other about how we are healers of ourselves and of the world. Like, we have so much power to heal. A is always about, well, for me this year, what would it have been? A, hmm, abundance. Abundance, absolutely. I've had so much abundance this year because not I had set myself a goal to triple my sales of my books and my cards so that I could triple the money I'm giving to the Canadian Mental Health Association. I not only tripled it, I like surpassed it like sixfold. I am so pleased with how well they did this year. And it's all because I trusted in myself and believed. I mean, I so believed that it was going to happen, and it's happening. I believed I would be reunited with my children. I believed I could heal all the traumas of my life. And I believed I could have a loving relationship with myself and others. And I have all of that now. And I'm here to tell you it's possible. It's not only possible, it's incredible.
Well, and I like that you said that, Annette, that this is your T of the year, because this is what I'm trying to let people understand is we have a T of life, a T of year, a T of moment, a T of day, a T of second. It changes every moment because we're changing all the time. We,
Yes.
we can't serve the same T for the rest of our lives. Otherwise, we're not growing, we're not healing, we're not fixing anything, you know? And T is just us. That's what the message is. The T is us. This is what tea time is. I'm just sharing the guests who they are and what they've overcome and where they've come from and where they're going. And I love that you say trusting because that is you as a little girl. You know,
Yeah.
you're giving me a little bit of your life tea as well because it took trust, right, to get over the past, to get into the enlightenment, you know, the healing journey as well. So I believe that you're giving me a little bit of your life tea as well, Annette. And
Absolutely.
and you know, an abundance, the abundance of the future, we never know what we're gonna get, you know. But if we believe, and I like that because you've used that affirmation 5 times. I believe I could do this. I believe I could see my kids. I believe I could heal. You know, when we self affirmation ourselves, we actually heal ourselves because we're speaking to ourselves. We're not
Yeah.
speaking to others, we're speaking to ourselves.
Yes.
And that's how the healing starts is by within. And this is
Yes.
what tea is. It's within us. And this is why you serve your tea. Like you really have a strong tea in that. And I've seen the journey. I've been watching. I'm a watcher. I watch all my guests. Like I'm not a creeper, I'm not a stalker, but I am I am watching you all out there, each and every one who has been on Tea Time. And your growth is really inspiring to see, and to see that you guys are watering your seeds and growing and knowing that you need to grow in order to heal, because like you said, yeah, a podcast, videos, and explaining the messages in the book, you're actually growing, you're actually watering the seeds that you've
Yes.
planted, and I think that's really beautiful to see and watch.
Yes.
So what message would you like to give to the viewers today and the viewers that will watch the replay in the future? about mental health and the importance of getting mental health awareness out there?
First of all, I think people truly need to start from where they're at. When I started my journey of helping to get better at my mental health, it comes down to just if you're in pain, okay, I'm not talking, well, some of it is physical when you have mental health issues, of course, but I'm talking about your emotional pain. And a lot of us don't make it, who are suffering through these deeply rooted traumas, because we're in so much pain. And I learned that the biggest message I got through therapy was I needed help. I can't do this on my own, and nor am I supposed to do it on my own. You know, the shoulds, could have, what ifs are killers. And the stories we tell ourselves are just that. And we need to be quiet and listen to what our gut is telling us, that our mental health must come first, because without it, we're just destined to continue to ravage the planet. We're going to continue to harm our children. And if we don't help our children, there's no future for them.
Yeah.
You know, it always begins with me. Always. It always starts from a simple choice of saying, I'm in pain and I need help. And it's really hard, and you can survive it. And that's my message. Love yourself, love yourself, love yourself. Look in the mirror every day and tell yourself, I love you. Fake it till you make it. It's so true.
Well, and you've really come a long way in that since we've met. We met last year, you know, through Gallup with the I Love Me project. And for
Yes.
me, that was a hard project. As much as people say, oh my God, it can't be that hard. Try saying I love me to yourself. When you have gone through so much abuse and so much negative things in your life, it is hard.
It
You
is.
know, it took, when I got my magnet from Gallet, it took me almost 2 weeks to look in the mirror and say, I love me. And I was like, why is it so hard? Why can I not do this? It's 3 words. I love me. Why can't I get it out there? And I
Yeah.
love that you have the message of learn to love myself, because it's really important that we learn to love ourselves. It's really good for our mental health as well to learn to love ourselves. You
Yeah.
know, we truly are amazing human beings out there. And mental
Yeah.
health is not something that we should be scared of. It should be something we're speaking about and breaking the stigma and getting people aware that we're human beings too. We just come with a label, but we don't carry the label. We are who we are. They're just
Yes.
labels, but we don't wear the labels on our heads and on our forehead, you know, and on our arms. And we are human beings too. And I think that's the importance of getting mental health awareness out there. That, you know, that we're hurting, but we're still human. And we don't want you to stay away from us. Like, just because you hear of a diagnosis of mental health, depression, anxiety, doesn't mean we want you to stay away from us. It just we want you to understand what
Yeah.
we're going through. And I think that's what you've done with these coloring books, is you want people to understand that, you know what, if you're hurting and you can't express it, nobody wants to hear you, grab a crayon and color that pain away. You know, no one's going to judge you with the way that you color these pages, and get that message out there, because sometimes we just need to release, right?
Yeah.
And
And I actually, the
coloring
section,
is releasing.
and there's actually the sections in each of the books that is specific to what you just mentioned. Just color, just get it down on the paper, because the section in the back has 5 extra pages for you to make your own designs within them, so that you can express your own pains and suffering, you know. And it's empowering. Working on yourself empowers you. So and yes, all the negative stories we tell each other are difficult to overcome. but they are overcomable. And you're not alone. There's so many of us out there dying to be heard, to be seen, to be loved. And I think it's the most primal instinct is to, um, we're afraid, right?
Mhm.
To to step outside of that stigma and all the labels we've been labeled with. And the books give us our own. For me, the books give me a sense of owning what I went through and the direction I want to help people get to, right? They give me courage and strength and a purpose. And whether create the telephone or you create a coloring book, it changes something that you create, changes people's lives. Like your show, it's helped me change my life by being able to express myself freely without judgment, and knowing that you love helping people and we're here for each other.
And I think that's what brings humanity back together, right? When we start supporting one another. And this is what the platform here at Tea Time is. It's to share and open doors for people to share openly. Because when we feel welcomed and relaxed and safe, we open up, we share. And this is what I do is I just open the door and I let you guys spill your tea all over to the world in order to make a difference for others. And this is how we make a difference, by spilling the tea, by making a difference, and by creating beautiful platforms. So Annette, for sure, when you get that podcast going, let me know. I will get it out there for you. I will share as an update that you are opening and watering your seeds more. If you could show all of your cards all together, like I just showed the books together,
Oh,
and the
sure.
youth book, because I don't have the youth, I'll have to grab a copy of the youth. And for anybody who would like to purchase these books, please check out Annette's Facebook group. I'll bring it up again. And if you are in Canada, because CMHA is a Canadian based mental health association, but there are mental health associations out there worldwide. Please check out your mental health um, organizations in your countries, in your communities, because there are incredible, incredible services out there to help you understand your mental health and get you through the process. For us, we are in Canada, so it is CMHA. There are other organizations that are connected with the Canadian Mental Health Association. So please check that out as well. And those are her incredible cards that she's created.
Hard to hold them up.
And it's hard to get the angle, right? I'm just like,
Yeah.
where do I go? Do I go this way? Do I go that way? But incredible, incredible work that you have done, Annette, and just the free flow of giving somebody that opportunity to release through coloring, because coloring is really important, and we need
Yeah.
to start expressing ourselves with the colors, showing our true colors, color the pages, and that, and let's make a difference together.
Yeah.
So any final words that you would like to tell the viewers that are out there today, and any of the youths, because I noticed that the last edition
Oh, you
is for
wanted
the
me to hold
youths.
that up too.
Yes, because we need to bring awareness to the youths that are suffering with mental health as well.
Well, I have really good news. I've been working a couple years now with a woman who does empowerment pencils,
Oh,
and the empowerment pencils have on each pencil a saying: I am courageous, I am inspiring, I am brave, I am loved. And what they do is they restructure, reframe your subconscious mind to focus on positive thoughts instead of negative thoughts. So you're infusing the colors into the paper, but also infusing your brain with positive thoughts. And I got to tell you, they sell like hotcakes together because people love the thought of, restructuring your brain, which is part of your mental health awareness. And in therapy, like, what do you have? I don't practice any of these really, but what's that one? Well, there's tapping, and then there's I can't think of it right now, where you do your new language. When you speak new language, it's basically along the same lines. You're restructuring your subconscious mind. So ETF, emotional, I can't remember. Somebody else go, I know what she's talking about.
Yeah, so
But
any of the viewers out there that are working in the mental health field, if you know it,
linguistic something. Oh, I can't think of it right now.
I'm sure they'll message me and say, Miss Liz, this is what it is. But I really want to look more into those empowerment pencils, because we really truly need more empowerment in the world today. So thank you for sharing that as well, Annette. Like I did not know about these empowerment pencils, but I will be checking that out, because incredible Christmas gift.
They're mentioned on my webpage, and the youth books have been selling specifically very well together with the empowerment pencils, because parents want to empower their children to be able to pick up their own tool and apply something that's going to help them. And I hope that I sell millions of these books to children, because I've worked as a nanny in the past, and I've seen the traumas of these young children and what they're going through. So the more love and support they can get, the better.
I truly agree. So these are being sold together, the pencil and the book?
Yep, I can sell them as sets, and some people like to buy them as a 4-pack with a set of pencils, or just a single book with the pencils. And I'm in contact with the lady who makes the pencils all the time, and I love helping her promote her, and she's helping me promote what I do. So it's a win-win. Again, I'm all about win-win situations.
Mm-hmm. And I like the teamwork too, because it shows that you're partnering up with people, the same alignment, right? And that's what's coming in 2022 for Miss Liz, is alignment. There's going to be a lot of alignment in the new teas that are coming in the future. And I really want people to understand that we all have a tea within ourselves. That doesn't mean that every single person comes and sits at tea time. It
Yeah.
means that when you're aligned with your message, that you will be sitting and serving your tea with Miss Liz. And then that's really you truly are in line with your message, and that you live and breathe your message, because you live with mental health. You are a person that understands it and gets it. And I think that's where the real message comes from, is people who have really gone through it in order to share that message.
Mm-hmm.
So again, if anybody would like to check out Annette and get these books and grab that amazing Christmas special that she has going on, because you can get all the books and you're making a difference. You're helping actually other people by getting this series, and amazing Christmas gifts. Who doesn't want to color in their pajamas on Christmas morning? Like, I'm telling you, that's what I'm doing. I'm putting my big fluffy slippers on, my PJs, and I'm taking the coloring crayons out and I'm coloring, because I'm a little kid. I love to color. I have like a bunch of coloring books. And when I seen these books, I was like, I gotta get these books. Like, I gotta grab these books. So for anybody who is out there that is suffering with mental health and you feel alone, please just reach out. There are people out there that are willing to listen and understand, who get it. And if you'd like a coloring book, please reach out to Annette. I'm going to get you to say your last name, because I don't want to mess it up again. So, Annette, if you would like to close up the tea time with just a final message for mental health and how we can make a difference with mental health this year.
Okay. Well, my biggest message is that I hope to spread as much love, kindness, and compassion, and inspire people to do the same. That's the real purpose behind the coloring books. You buy a book, you could be changing a life. You could be saving a life. You could be, I don't know. It's just making people happier, than know that they're loved. And my full name is Annette Chiappee, and my business is Learn to Love Myself. And my other page is A Mental Health Break with Annette Chiappee. And that one is basically where I just, post stuff about, same as I'm doing on Learn to Love Myself. It's all about taking a mental health break for yourself. And I'll do a little short videos on them and tell you things about how I'm dealing with my my addiction to foods. I have that's part of my traumas. I have to deal with food addiction. And, I talk about various things about enlightenment and spirituality, and always about little tips about your mental health, you know. So, and I'm studying also. So you might be able to follow me about, I've studied this. I'll start having some very key informations about mental health statistics. And, I'm, the more I learn, the better I am informed to inform others. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's who I am. And I hope that you can help me help others.
Well, thank you so much, Annette, for joining me today in the studio. And I will see you December 18th for the reunion show, where we share all of these goodies again and more updates, because I'm sure things will happen within the next month. So you just never know what Annette will bring for the update show on December 18th for the reunion tea time, where I will be bringing back guests from 2020 and 2021. I'm not sharing who's coming back, so you got to grab a ticket. The ticket link is out there as well. They're $25, and some of the proceeds will be going to one of the lucky tea time guests, as they are all being put into a tea hat, and they will be picked on December 18th. And you will be receiving some of the proceeds from those ticket sales to help with your organization or your project out there. So I don't know who's going to win. You're all in the big gold hat, and that name will be picked on December 18th as well. And there are a lot of other goodies that will be shared on December 18th. My final tea time for this year of 2021 is with UNICEF Kamari, with the Kamari Youth Workshops. He will be joining me December 10th at 5 p.m. And we will be speaking on the importance of the youths and why we need to start helping our youths out there. So I want to thank each and every one for tuning in to Tea Time with Miss Liz. And we will make a difference with one cup of tea at a time. And again, if you're watching a replay, push hashtag replay. And if you'd like to see a subject on Tea Time, please reach out at Miss Liz on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter. I'm all over. And if you'd like to send me an email, my email is bookingmissliz@gmail.com. And I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me today on Tea Time and bringing the importance of mental health and the awareness. And grab yourself a coloring book for Christmas. So thank you all for tuning in today.